Doug MPA back with another video. So I found this article. It's called "More Men Are Taking on Female-Dominated Jobs. Men who work in female-dominated fields tend to get more prestige and higher wages." She starts the article saying that it's a bad thing, but then she kind of goes into men entering female-dominated fields is necessary because they may get paid more, but then it'll cause women to get paid more because men are doing it. So she says it's a good thing in certain parts of the article, then she says it's a bad thing, and she bounces back and forth, and it was kind of interesting. So before I get into this article, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. Let's get into this. She says, in the last few decades, many high-paying jobs that are mostly done by men, like manufacturing, have contracted or disappeared, and that is true if you look at the job losses in manufacturing since the 1980s, guys. It's out of control. At the same time, many jobs in fields dominated by women, like education and healthcare, have significantly increased. In fact, female-dominated jobs have some of the highest projected job and wage growth in the economy. Isn't that convenient for women, guys? And you don't see them pushing for quotas for men in female-dominated industries, do they? It says, if jobs in female-dominated sectors represent the future, what will it take for men to take them? We are sociologists interested in the following question. If jobs in female-dominated sectors represent the future, what will it take for men to take them? And that's the thing. All right, guys, put in the comment section what it would take for you to become a nurse, a teacher, an esthetician, a social worker. Would you do it? Because I've looked at the top 10 jobs dominated by women. Heck no. No way. And then you have to deal with all women all day? No, no way. Who's working where? Women have made significant progress entering male-dominated jobs like finance, law, and medicine over the past several decades. And that's true because I think 50% of doctors in the United States are women now. However, men have made far less progress entering female-dominated jobs like those of teachers, nurses, or human resource representatives, among others. Men have largely avoided female-dominated work for two key reasons. First, men may face social stigma by entering jobs that challenge masculine ideas, that they distance themselves from feminine activities. Second, female-dominated jobs tend to pay less than male-dominated ones, even when skill levels and education requirements are equivalent. So let's talk about the first reason. There is a stigma on these jobs. I always use the scenario, guys. Pretend like you're at a club or a bar and you walk up to a woman, an attractive woman, and you buy her a drink, and she asks you what you do, and she says that you're a teacher. She gonna walk away from you. Say that you're, a social worker, because they know that it doesn't make a lot of money, and a lot of these women still want men who will be able to support them long term. And then not only that, the stigma of working in these jobs. If you're a male teacher, especially a male like elementary school teacher, society puts a stigma on you, and you're constantly having to prove that you're not a threat to these children. No, guys don't want to deal with the stigma that women in society put on them for working a female-dominated job or industry. And then, I kind of covered the second one on the first one, but female-dominated jobs, the income is usually front-loaded. So teachers, nurses end up making a lot more out of college than like a guy would when he first starts a trade, or he starts, in tech or something. But usually around the 30s is when men start making more in male-dominated fields and just keep going. Whereas nurses, teachers, human resource people, their maximum income is capped at around that time. However, not all female-dominated jobs pay poorly. Jobs like nursing can offer high wages, good benefits, and job stability. Yet even in this field, men remain a small minority at about 13%. Prior research shows that few men aspire to work in female-dominated jobs, but we wondered what men who lose their jobs and become unemployed will do. Will they consider female-dominated work then? It's more than just an academic question, because many men, particularly working-class men, may face unemployment at some point in their careers. A recent study showed that men who are unemployed are much more likely to switch to a female-dominated job, and when they do, some men experience job advantages. I actually saw that all through undergrad In grad school, I waited tables uh, on and off for about 10 years, all through my 20s. And a lot of the male servers uh, that weren't going to school, they were tradesmen who wanted to take a break. There is a reason why they are temporarily waiting tables, and then they go back to the industry. So I've seen that. Wage and prestige bumps. Men who enter female-dominated jobs experience, on average, a 4% wage increase and a significant boost to the prestige of their job relative to their previous job before unemployment. I'd like to know how they collected that data. In contrast, men who entered male-dominated fields or jobs that had an equal balance of men and women either maintained or lost ground in wages and occupational prestige. Examples of mixed-gender jobs include claim adjusters, property managers, and retail salespersons. Our study suggested that female-dominated jobs may help mitigate common scarring effects of lost wage or prestige in a man's subsequent job after being unemployed. Female-dominated jobs tend to pay less than comparable male-dominated jobs. What explains these job advantages? We suspect that some men may be willing to take a female-dominated job only if it offers higher wages or more occupational prestige. Thus, they may specifically target upgraded jobs in these cases. And that's not a bad thing. You should be always looking for a better opportunity, even if it's one surrounded by women all day. Employers may also more highly value men's previous occupational backgrounds in male-dominated or mixed-gender fields, allowing them access to higher-level jobs than in other sectors. Notably, there may be future benefits of entering female-dominated jobs, like stepping onto a glass escalator. These terms that women use. Research on men in non-traditional fields have found that straight white men are often fast-tracked to management positions akin to riding an invisible but very real escalator up to the top. These processes, of course, starkly contrast the glass ceiling that many women face, in which they experience barriers and and rising to leadership and contribute to gender inequality within female-dominated domains. But they also have to factor in that these straight white men and men in general, we take the best aspects of being a man at work to these jobs. We don't call in sick. We work more hours. We're there to make money, not to chit chat and socialize. And that's why a lot of the times these guys are being put in management. Restaurant management, I've never done it, but I worked in restaurants long enough to know that it is a long slog of a job. You're asked to work 70, 80 hours a week. You have to come in on your days off. You have to work 12, 13-hour days. And guys will do that. That's why they get fast-tracked to management. Restaurant management, it's about who's willing to show up the longest. And a lot of the times, that's men. So, however, these advantages accrue in female-dominated jobs only if men stay in them, and compelling research by sociologist Margarita Torre casts doubt that men will stay in these jobs for a long time. Torre's work shows that many men use female-dominated jobs as a stopgap position before moving back into a male-dominated or mixed-gender job. Men in female-dominated jobs. Having men doing women's work may not just affect their careers, it could impact society as well. This is where she kind of paints. So she just spent the last, however, talking about how bad it is. Now she's going to talk about how good it is. Jobs associated with women are economically devalued in the American economy, particularly when they involve care work such as teaching, childcare, and healthcare. Although we contend that female-dominated jobs merit better wages, regardless of men's entrance, men's participation in these jobs may enhance the job status and economic value. Indeed, research has shown that wages tend to increase after men enter jobs dominated by women, potentially because employers may more highly value the work that men do or more readily accept men's negotiation for higher wages. So do you want men in there or not? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Men's entrance into female-dominated jobs could also help reduce potential labor market shortages like those expected in healthcare. Depending on the job, such positions may provide men with greater job stability and employment opportunities given the high projected job growth of many female-dominated jobs. Moreover, men's entrance into female-dominated jobs may push along what we and many other scholars see as a needed shift in how the culture values work traditionally done by women. Female-dominated jobs were as highly valued as comparable male-dominated jobs. The income of women in these positions, and thus the women's broader economic status, would increase. Our research shows that economic conditions are strongly associated with men's interest in female-dominated work. The challenge is getting past to the point that men in the workforce need an economic shock like unemployment to consider female-dominated jobs. Raising wages in female-dominated jobs and removing stigmas associated with men doing them would go a long way in advancing men's integration into these jobs and reducing gender inequality in the workforce. Let me know, again, in the comment section, what it would take for you to become a nurse, a massage therapist, a social worker, a licensed, a clinical psychologist, all these female-dominated jobs. Because I'm not doing it, you guys. It ain't happening. There's a lot of stuff that she left out of this, and men make more money in female-dominated positions. The same reason why men make more money on average. Wherever we go, we work longer hours. We're there to make money. We're not just there to socialize and chit chat like most women, and we do more at work. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.